After a week to rest and reset, the Ravens are back in action today at M&T Bank Stadium for a Week 8 matchup in Charm City. It's your 1-5 Baltimore Ravens hosting the 4-2 Chicago Bears, a team that has won 4 straight. So Baltimore's looking to snap that streak and start one of their own to right the ship after 4 straight losses. The Ravens want to get their mojo back, and it starts today. The bye is over. The roster is healthier. It is now time to respond. Welcome into Pregame Live, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. I'm Shelby Lasso, and he's my partner, 2-time Super Bowl champion and Ravens legend Torrey Smith. And Torrey, there's no denying that it's been a tough first 6 games for the Baltimore Ravens. They're coming off the bye. What were your takeaways from the 1-5 start?
Oh man, where do you start, right? I think the number one thing that stands out is injuries, right? Everyone knew going into this season that the tough part of the stretch was going to be in the beginning of the year. Did anyone anticipate 1-5? Absolutely not. But no one also anticipated all of these injuries, right? But that's why you play this game. And so to see where this team is now, you had the opportunity to come off of a bye week. You get to find out as a coaching staff, what do we do well offensively? What do we do well defensively? And who are the guys that need to be in position? And by the way, that health thing, and talk about a bye week, typically you want your bye week to be later.
Yeah.
It came at a perfect time for this team, and we'll see in a little bit which guys are going to be available. However, there's a fresh reset button in your mind when you have a week away from the game. You can come back ready to roll. So I'm looking forward to just simply seeing energy out here.
Yeah. Well, despite that 1-5 start, the AFC North is still kind of open. Baltimore is 3 games behind the division-leading Pittsburgh Steelers. Ravens have only played 1 division game. So listen, I'm not saying it's mathematically I'm saying it's not mathematically impossible. So what is still there for the Ravens when you look at the AFC North?
Everything's still there, right? And I know that sounds crazy to any fan that's like, dude, you're just being a homer. But to me, I remember being in the locker room. It doesn't matter. We have a number of games that it says it's mathematically possible for us to get it done. I've never gone into a game ever in my life thinking that we are going to lose, right? Call it naive, whatever you want. That's just the reality of it. This team has proven that they have the leadership at the top, and they have the athletes and the players to go out and go have a special type of run. And to be honest, when it boils down to it, 10-7 will get you into the playoffs. It's just a matter of if you're going to win the division or will you be a wild card spot. And it does not matter. When you start 1-5, you're just trying to figure out how to get into the dance. Doesn't matter how you get there. You just have to know that you're going to be there. But as a player in the locker room that's been in a locker room that has had a record similar to this, where you feel like there's no way that we're ever going to be able to turn the corner, but also being in a situation where it's like, hey, we have the guys to do it and we have the time, this team has a lot to be optimistic about, and these conversations don't get old because it's still a real opportunity there.
Well, it won't be an easy one today as the Ravens welcome in the 4-2 Chicago Bears, and this is a Bears team that is hot. 4 straight wins. Nothing really jumps out when you look at where they rank in the league, but their offense has put up 21 points in every game this season. The Bears defense racked up 15 takeaways in the last 4 games. So what do you expect to see? How do the Ravens need to approach this game fresh off the bye?
Now, for the Ravens, it's about the Ravens, right? This Chicago Bears team, being there on the field, by the way, seeing Chicago over the last few years, there's a different feel about how the coaching staff is operating and about how the players are. It feels like they know who they are. That means you're going to see a very confident team. On the flip side of that, with this Baltimore Ravens team, you're fired up, you're motivated, like, hey, we need to hit the reset button now, and we have to let people know who we really are. And again, I'm looking forward to watching. It's going to be a heavyweight battle that we didn't anticipate going into the season. But right now, you have the perfect opportunity to knock off a very hot team. This isn't and then I don't want to be disrespectful to any team in the league, but this is a team that has the ability to go out and beat any and everyone. So for the Baltimore Ravens, being right here at home with your own crowd, even though there is a decent amount of Bears fans here, it's a great opportunity to go out and set the tone and really view your season as just getting started right now.
Well, Torrey, you mentioned it earlier. The bye week really came at the right time. Week 7, this roster took time and got healthier. You look at this, and Pat Ricard is back. Roquan Smith is back. Ronnie Stanley. So all pros have returned, but of course the big one there at the top, two-time MVP Lamar Jackson is out today. So with that, we'll send it down to the third member of our broadcast, Garrett Downing, and Garrett still no 8, no Lamar Jackson. Tyler Huntley will get the nod to start today. But when you look around down there are guys down there warming up for the Ravens we haven't seen in a few weeks. There's a guy make a big key of this offense making his season debut today. So how's it feel down there looking around and seeing who has returned for the Ravens?
Yeah, Shelby, I think today is really a continuation of some energy that we've seen over the course of the entire week, where you have a number of players who are working their way back to the lineup and are going to play here today. Look, I'm not going to undersell the significance of Lamar Jackson not being able to play in this game. Of course, you would rather have him available and playing. However, the Ravens do have a number of other players who are coming back into the lineup on both sides of the ball. Let's go through it. On the defensive side, I think at the top of that list is Roquan Smith. He's missed 2 games with a hamstring injury that he suffered against the Chiefs. You know that he wanted to play in this game against his former team, the team that drafted him, and then the team that ultimately traded him here to Baltimore, and then the Ravens gave him that big second contract. And Roquan is such a leader on this defense, and I think he helps everything, both in front of him and behind him. It's going to be a big boost to get him back on this defense. Chido Awuzie, starting cornerback, has missed the last 2 games with an injury. He's back in the lineup. You go on to the offensive side of the ball, and a couple of guys here are healthy and ready to go. The big one is Pat Ricard. He has not played yet this season, dealing with a calf injury that dates all the way back to training camp in August. He was sidelined throughout most of the summer, and he's been working behind the scenes, trying to get back on the field, and he is eager to play. I think his absence, when you really look at it, has probably been a little bit undersold in terms of how significant he is for this offense and allowing everybody else in this running game to be at its best. So the Ravens get Pat Ricard back. I know that is something they're really excited about. Also, Ronnie Stanley is healthy. He was dealing with that ankle injury the last few weeks. He would start games and then would have to leave early, or he would miss games. So now he's healthy, feeling better, and hopefully that ankle is not something that flares up again here today. So overall, the Ravens are a much healthier team. Of course, the absence of Jackson is significant, but they are a healthier team. And then the last point is Snoop Huntley. I really think that the Ravens are energized and excited about what he's able to do. He's played a lot of football here and elsewhere in his career. When he came in late in that game against the Rams, he provided a spark for the offense, and I think guys are energized to see what he can do and how the offense can operate with his dual threat ability, and how that's going to open so many things for this team here today. So the Ravens are excited about what they're able to do, and I think that having guys back has brought energy to the building throughout the week, and that has continued out here on the field during these pregame warm-ups.
Thanks so much, Garrett. Fans, we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will catch up with today's legend of the game, a former first-round draft pick in Baltimore who had a very memorable play in Super Bowl 35. I can't wait to ask him about it. It's Super Bowl champion cornerback Dwayne Starks. Don't go anywhere.
What are you doing?
I'm playing a Raven scratch-off from the Maryland lottery. I can win huge cash prizes instantly.
How huge?
Like, Jonathan Ogden huge.
Well, if that's the case, I'll take one too.
Keep the game going with Raven Scratch-Offs from the Maryland Lottery. Play today and you could win up to $200 grand instantly, or other great Ravens prizes.
At M&T Bank, we're all for the flock. Like the mighty marching band, you're always keeping our spirits high. And our hometown heroes who help out at every home game. And of course, the fans. From the season ticket holders to the first timers. You're the most loyal fan base around. Thanks for always showing up and showing out, Ravens flock. Together, we can make Baltimore proud. See you at the bank.
Introducing Idahoan Plus Protein Mashed Potatoes with 6 grams of added protein in every serving. The same creamy, homemade taste you love, made from 100% real Idaho potatoes. Each pouch makes 4 servings and comes in 3 delicious flavors. Ready in minutes, Idahoan Plus Protein fits your busy lifestyle. Just add hot water, stir, and enjoy. It's an easy way to add a good source of protein to your meal. Idahoan Plus Protein Mashed Potatoes. Real potatoes, real easy.
As a former professional athlete, I understand life can get busy. Making your health a top priority is necessary, and we're here to help. The Baltimore Ravens and GEHA are committed to the overall wellness of the Ravens flock. Through awareness and education, the Purple Ticket to Health program provides convenient access to resources that empower our community to take actions towards a healthier lifestyle. Take the first step by completing a short assessment and get the chance to win great Ravens prizes. Score your Purple Ticket today.
Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time.
The perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Shake, shake.
It feels like football weather here in Baltimore this Sunday afternoon as your 1-5 Ravens host the 4-2 Chicago Bears. Welcome back to Pregame Live, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. We are now joined by Baltimore's first-round draft pick in 1998, a cornerback who had 20 interceptions in his 4 years in Baltimore. I know you remember that pick 6 in the Super Bowl. He's today's legend of the game, Super Bowl champion cornerback, Dwayne Starks. Dwayne, welcome home. How's it feel to be back here at the Bay?
Oh, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, we got the best fans in the world. I've been to three different other teams, and Baltimore is just amazing. It's the best I've ever played at.
Yeah, it's the team that drafted you. So what does this fan base, this city, this franchise mean to you?
It means everything. I mean, you think about a team that gave you a start, and that's basically, you know, you're changing your whole life, your whole career. And then to have the changes that we've had here, coming here from, you know, winning the Super Bowl, they painting the whole city purple. That's just an amazing feeling. It's been a great atmosphere ever since.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you coming back now with your family here? Obviously, you come back from time to time, but what makes this opportunity a little more special?
Oh, man, just to have my kids here. My son is here, Joshua, Kai, Taya. They're going to come in with my wife as well. And just to see, for them to see what I've accomplished, what I accomplished in this sport. So, you know, the last time I did it, my daughter was crying. She was probably about 7 years old. And just for her to grasp what was going on is just an amazing feeling for me to know that my kids, who wasn't born at the time, can get to experience the little things that I've done.
When you step back in this place and you look down on that field down there, is there a memory that comes to mind for you?
Well, first off, I get chill bumps. You know, I know it's cold, but I get chill just knowing that what I did on that field was amazing. Just knowing that my body can't do it anymore, it's a little different. But, yeah, I love coming back and watching the guys play, rooting them on, and just being a part of this whole atmosphere and just being special. 25 career interceptions, 20 of them.
No,
it's more than that.
It's more than that?
Yeah.
Well, my stats lied
20
to me.
is, you know, postseason. You didn't count that.
I apologize.
And Super Bowl, yeah, you didn't count that. So, but,
well,
yeah.
a lot of interceptions.
A real corner is going to count it now. Don't worry about it. They're
A
gonna
lot
know the
of
real number.
interceptions as a Baltimore Raven. What allowed you to have that kind of success?
Been around great guys that can help me become a better player, watching a lot of film, studying my opponents, and just my ability to do what I do and having confidence in doing it. So I think that made a big chance of me going out making plays. So I think when these younger guys get that feeling in their head and that confidence, I think they'll do the same thing. They have the talent to do it.
Well, you mentioned that you had the opportunity to play on a couple different teams, but you also played on arguably the best defense ever. What are some of those characteristics that you remember from that defense that made it special in comparison to the other teams that you played on?
Being accountable for everyone. I mean, one thing, if you messed up, everyone's getting in your chest, right? You don't want to be that guy because you know the defensive line is going to stop the run. You know the linebackers are going to make the tackles. And it's up to me, Chris McAllister, Rod Woodson, all those guys, to be able to stop the pass. So that's one thing that we're looking for out of this team as well. But to come back and think about all of those things and the accountability that we had amongst each other, that was special.
Well, that 2000 season that ended in the Super Bowl, of course, obviously a historic defense like Tori and you were talking about, but it wasn't the easiest season. There was a stretch of 5 straight games where the offense didn't score a touchdown. This team lost 3 straight in October and then never lost another game. When you think back on that run, what was the most important factor?
Not turning the ball over. I think we trusted in our defense. We trusted in what we were doing. we were very talented. You're talking about Sam Adams in the middle, Tony Saragusa, and the rest of the team. You know, I can name all names all day. But just saying, hey, offense, don't turn the ball over. You get us 10 points, we'll win the game. And that's how confident we were. And we showed that amongst a 5-game stretch without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. That pick 6 in the Super Bowl, what do you remember about that moment?
I remember them from a 2, I don't know if you know football is, yeah, you do. A 2-by-2 formation and motioning to the 3-by-1, and I'm thinking, okay, the 3-by-1, I've seen this before. So if they run that slant, I'm jumping and I'm all over it. And that's what happened. And it's all I was thinking was just catch the ball, catch the ball. So once I caught the ball and took off, I knew it was over. And as I'm running, I'm thinking, please, nobody clip, no flags, right? Because that's the last thing you want when you know you're going to score. And, you know, everything worked out, and it was a momentous moment for me, and we're still here 20-some years later talking about it, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so that's amazing. I love it.
And you mentioned literally what you said for a lot of folks that are listening. You said you've seen it before, right? That came from preparing. What was your approach to the game when it came to watching film and truly understanding your opponents?
Oh, I was a true advocate of watching the film. One of the things that I wanted to do is know my opponent better than they knew themselves. And what happened with that is, and that tip that I saw, you know, about Kerry Collins, he had a hitch in his step on a 3-step drop. Anytime he hopped, he threw the ball. He released it every time. If he did not hop in his 3-step, he pumped it, and then it was a double move. So the 3-by-1, the hop, I was like, okay, I'm gone. So if you look back at that play, you'll realize I ran the route for Monty Toomer. So that was something that, you know, film study is really big in football. And I'm quite sure you studied your opponent a lot. Like, what techniques is he using? Like, what, you know, is it easy for me to get open this way? Or if I quick release, then those are advantages that you gain. And I think I was very, very strong at doing that.
Well, you were also lucky enough to be college teammates with Ray Lewis and then teammates here at the Ravens. I was reading an article about an interview you did talking about Ray, and you said he really took you in as a rookie. What did that mean to you, and how important was his mentorship and him being a role model for this defense? How did that help your development?
Well, it helped my development pretty well because, you know, like I said, we played at the University of Miami together. That was one thing. And then him vouching for me when Ozzie Newsome and everyone asked him, hey, what about the kid Dwayne Starks? And he immediately told him, get him. Wow. You know, so that was a part of me coming here as well. And then once I got here during training camp, we were out in Westminster, and guess who they roomed me with? Ray Lewis, my rookie year. So now we're in there. You know how Ray is: Bible study, Bible talk, all of that stuff, and then talk football, watch a lot of film. And it was amazing because it's a mentorship type of situation because he had been here before. Yeah. He had been here for the past 2 years before I got here. So it's just amazing just having teammates like that in my historical memories. Yeah. He's over there fighting.
Well, you look at this team, and there's a young cornerback on this team, Nate Wiggins, and man, among corners with at least 375 snaps this year, Nate has the third lowest yards allowed, the third lowest yards per reception allowed, only 1 touchdown allowed. So obviously he's in his second year. You had 5 interceptions as a rookie, 5 interceptions your second year. So obviously there wasn't a sophomore slump
I
there.
had 9 my third.
Yeah. So when you look at a player like Nate Wiggins, how can he continue to develop as a young, talented cornerback in this league?
Continue to understand his opponent, like the same things that we just got through talking about. When the game slows down for him, you know, he's a guy, and I watched him on film. I watched his YouTube. He's very quick. You know, his feet is really good. His eyes and hand coordination is pretty good. But now it's a part of him putting that all together and letting the game slow down and believing that he's going to be there to make the play. So those break-up passes and all of those things, they turn into turnovers. Yeah. So that's going to make his game elevate from where it is now to another level.
Well, no Lamar Jackson today for the 3rd straight game. He's still out with that hamstring injury. But Snoop, Tyler Huntley, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Yes. He's getting the start today. What does Huntley what's the most important thing he needs to remember in the start today?
Let the plays come to him. You know, for one, don't force anything. let his feet work for him, because, you know, the same thing Lamar does. He doesn't force us a lot of passes. And then I'm not comparing him to Lamar, but he does have some of those characteristics. So he can move around, he can throw the ball, and he can actually use his feet to get those first downs when it's needed.
Yeah.
And you talk about two dual-threat guys in Lamar and Tyler Huntley. You've been able to play against a lot of different quarterbacks. What's it like being on the opposite side and there's a guy that has the ability to run and throw versus your traditional quarterback guy? What goes through your mind as a corner when you're playing against those type players?
Well, as a corner, like for me, I know I have to stay disciplined. And if you listen to any coach that talks and coaching their players, like, hey, handle your job first, right? But at the same time, when you have a scrambling quarterback that's going through your head, oh, he's going to get the first down. Should I come off of this guy? Should I stick with my guy? But you have to be disciplined as a cornerback or defensive back or a linebacker.
Well, Dwayne, what's the plan today when you come out of that tunnel? Is there a signature celebration you're going to do, a dance move? What can fans expect?
Man, you know, I just want the crowd to be hype. I want to get them up. I never really had a signature move that was worth looking at and copying. You know, Ray had the signature dance, and the squirrel, but nah, I don't have it. I just want to rile them up some kind of way.
Well, let's get a preview.
You're going to make me think about it. You're going to make me think about it.
Get this crowd loud. Let's go.
Let's go, Baltimore! That's right. That'll work right there.
Good test run. Dwayne, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Enjoy being today's legend of the game.
I appreciate it.
All right, fans, when we come back, more from pregame warm-ups. We'll be right back.
How can we reduce emissions?
Clean energy? Great, but our bottom line matters.
Where do we even start?
Working toward your sustainability goals gives you a lot to think about. At Constellation, we make it simple. We're the nation's leading producer of clean, reliable energy, and we offer the tools, expertise, and customized solutions you need to reduce your emissions and maintain your bottom line. Wherever you are in your sustainability journey, you can count on Constellation to take you further. Power on, America.
Did they ask you to do the commercial too?
Yeah, but they just gave me one line.
Bet like a Caesar.
Like, we're going to sit here and we're going to tell them how Caesars Sportsbook is just so easy to use that you can watch and bet thousands of sports events, even some NFL games?
They'll probably show us betting on our favorite players and teams at all the Vegas hotspots too.
Like, we have time for that montage.
I told him I couldn't do it.
They couldn't afford me.
Getting to the bank to see the Ravens play just got a whole lot easier, thanks to the Geico Game Day Shuttle. Skip the lots and skip the walk. Hop aboard a shuttle and get to the gate in just a matter of minutes. Rides are fast, free, and fun, so you and your crew get to the game safely, quickly, and stress-free. Shuttles pick up at Federal Hill and drop you off right at the stadium. It's the easiest way to get to the game, so you can celebrate every drive, every touchdown. Getting to the game doesn't have to be tough. Just take the Geico Game Day Shuttle.
The best offense is a great defense. Get 100% verified tickets only from Ticketmaster. Seats available all season long, even last minute. Take it to the house every time. Ticketmaster, official marketplace of the NFL.
Pregame Live is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of the Baltimore Ravens. Well, Baltimore wants to flip the script here in Week 8, and the hope going into the bye week was to get guys healthy, and, well, that's exactly what happened. There are a number of All-Pros returning for the Ravens today, including a big one on defense, Agent Zero, Roquan Smith. He missed 2 games with a hamstring injury, but he is back, and for the first time, he will be playing the team that drafted him 8th overall in 2018 and then traded him to the Baltimore Ravens in 2022. Since then, Roquan has over 400 tackles, 5 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 interceptions. He's earned first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors 3 consecutive years with the Ravens. So needless to say, yeah, this guy, his presence on this defense changes things for the Ravens. He is part of this team's identity. What does his return mean today?
Oh, it means the world. You know, you talk about the leader of this team from a vocal standpoint, but also his presence. If you ever watch a practice, Roquan is one of those guys that set the tone, similar to what Ray Lewis did during my time here in Baltimore. And when you have guys that are coming back like Roquan, it means a big deal. I was talking to my son about it, and he was like, well, you know, the guys are coming back. Like, what's that mean? I said, you know, you go to recess sometimes, and you're playing with your friends, and then your friends happen to be somewhere else, and it just doesn't feel the same. Doesn't mean you're going to quit, but it doesn't feel the same. But when you have your friends and you know your team is there, you feel really good. And that's the kind of aura that's going to exist today with guys like Roquan Smith being back. You have your guys there. There's a different type of confidence that exists amongst the players. And as you can see by the body language right there, Roquan won't say it, but I can. When you have the opportunity to play against your old team, you want to make them feel it. And he's coming back at the right time, and he'll channel his emotions the right way on the field today.
Well, Garrett, it's not just the aura that Roquan brings, it's the communication. How does Ro's return impact the communication across the board for this Ravens defense?
Well, Roquan, I fill in for him. Roquan, you know, he's a guy that, again, he means the world to this team. There's a vocal aspect of it, but the communicate, he wears that dot. He's talking to the coach. He's the guy that's going to communicate and make sure players are in the right place. But again, those are things that you can't really measure, right? There's stats and there's the things that the fans see, but then there's that aspect that you can't measure that. A coach can't measure it. It's just a feel of a guy like Roquan being on the field for you, and your defense is better when he's on the field.
Well, another All-Pro returning is a big one on offense. Highly anticipated return after missing his first 6 games this season with a lingering calf injury. It's Pat Ricard. And, Tori, when you look at Ricard, this is a 9-year vet, 5-time Pro Bowl fullback who's really a key member of this Ravens offense. He's the lead blocker for the King. What does Pat's return mean today?
It's huge, and I am so glad he is back because he plays the fullback position. It's like you're a dinosaur in the NFL in this current day and age, and I'm comfortable saying this out loud. You could talk about the offensive line all you want. The first few games of the season, this offensive line was good enough to put up to be the #1 offense in the league. So I'm not going to put it all on those guys. But I will tell you this, the running game has not been the same with him not on the field, period. Derrick Henry hasn't been as big of a factor, and he is the #1 reason why. His physicality and what he brings to the game. He's like a fast offensive lineman. He's the size of a pulling guard running at you. And the weight that you have between him and Derrick Henry, you can go back to every single game. There's been a short yardage situation where this offense simply didn't get it done. And you have fans, you have coaches, you have everyone wondering why the offensive coordinator isn't just simply running the ball. Well, it's because he's not there. You've seen the results time and time again where coach did try to run it in short yardage situations and the offensive line and everything was blown up. Well, I promise you today, if it's a short yardage situation, you will see number 42 running through people's faces, and Derrick Henry will have a great presence on the field today.
Well, Garrett, what was the Ravens' approach with Pat this week, knowing he was going to make his season debut today?
Look, they've been ramping him up here for a couple of weeks, and this is an injury, as I mentioned earlier, that goes back early in training camp in August, and it honestly has just taken longer than expected to get Pat back on the field. The Ravens opted not to put him on injured reserve at the end of training camp, and he's been working behind the scenes trying to get back. And going into the bye week, head coach John Harbaugh mentioned that he was hopeful that this game against the Bears would be the one that Pat would be able to come back and play for. He has been able to do that, and so this is something that everybody is excited about for this team. As Tori mentioned, there have been a handful of short yardage situations this year that have come back to bite the Ravens. Going back to last week against the Rams at the goal line, that one certainly comes to mind, and John Harbaugh talked about how improving in short yardage situations was one of the top priorities for this team and for this offense, and getting Pat Ricard back is going to be a huge piece of that equation. Guys, I go back to a conversation that I had on the Lounge podcast back in the spring with former NFL head coach John Gruden. He knows a thing or two about offensive football. And when he talked about this Ravens team, he pointed to Pat Ricard. He said, my nickname for him is the straw man, because he's the straw that stirs the drink for the rest of this offense. So John Gruden, who spent a few days with the Ravens during spring practices, looked at this team and this offense and said, Pat Ricard is the guy that really allows everything else to happen around him in the running game, in the play action game. That's how important he is. So if that's any indication of the impact that he can have, I think that will go a long way in helping this offense, not just in the running game, but also opening things up in the play action passing game and the Ravens' ability to take some shots down the field.
Pre-game warm-ups are brought to you by Merit Athletic Clubs. When you look at this Bears offense, no team has produced more big plays than the Bears. They average 8 a game, and no team has more runs of 10-plus yards than Chicago, who has 27 at this early in the season. So what do you want to see out of the Ravens D-line today to limit those big explosive plays that the Bears are known to make?
And I wanted to stay on the track that they're on. You know, I know the numbers don't necessarily show it, but this defense has played way better the last couple of weeks. And I'm expecting them to be more physical. They're going to have to be dominant up front and try to dictate the line of scrimmage. When you make this Bears team one-dimensional, and it's not just this Bears team, honestly, it's every team in football. If you could take away one portion of it, which the run game, if you can allow that not to get going, you could force Caleb Williams to have to throw the ball and then anticipate some mistakes being made due to pressure, due to the guys on the back end, have an opportunity to make plays. So this is about simply being dominant up front, and guys like Travis Jones are going to have to lead the way.
Yeah, going back down to Garrett. Garrett, the Bears O-line was the second highest graded offensive line last week. So how can, a guy like Travis Jones or the additional help that the Ravens brought up from the practice squad make a difference in this one?
Yeah, the Ravens are going to have to stop the run. That's going to be important. That's always important for any defense. And this defensive line has taken some hits and some injuries this year, starting with Nnamdi Madubuike, and they've been kind of patching it together. But they called up Taven Bryan for the practice squad. This is a former high pick who the Ravens signed to their practice squad, and he's been learning this defense and getting familiar with the Ravens' overall approach. And so he's going to make his debut here. And then another guy that I'll point to has been kind of a diamond in the rough, really nice addition for the Ravens is CJ Okoye. This is somebody who 5 years ago didn't even really know what football was in Nigeria, was a basketball player, found out about NFL football and had an opportunity to go to some camps, spent the last 2 seasons on the Ravens practice squad. We sat down with him on the lounge this week, and he's just somebody that his size is catches your attention right off the bat. I mean, he's 6'6", over 300 pounds. He's a massive guy in the middle of the defense, and his trajectory, the arrow is really pointing up on him. He's been one of the higher graded defensive tackles in the league this season, which is really remarkable considering, again, 5 years ago, he didn't even know what football totally was. He had a sack 2 years ago when he was a member of the Chargers. Guys on the team told him, hey man, congratulations on the sack. And he said, what's a sack? I mean, that's the level of football that he knew when he came into this league. But he has learned a lot about this defense and how to play like a Raven. And he's somebody who's become really respected, and I think has been a nice addition to this team here. So he's an important player as the Ravens find ways to stop the run and try to limit what the Bears can do in that regard.
Well, it hasn't just been the Ravens who have been dealing with injuries this season. The Bears will be without 3 starters in their secondary today, and that's just part of their lengthy inactive list today. So when you look at the Ravens air attack, led by, of course, Snoop Huntley today, getting the start, as a wide receiver, how does the game and the offense change when you're now playing with the third quarterback in a span of 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, you just try to trust yourself. I think when you're playing with the third quarterback, in this case, it's a little bit different because Tyler Huntley is familiar with this organization, with a lot of these guys, and that relationship and that chemistry is a little bit different. But typically, that's extremely tough because you have no idea what to expect, and you're just hoping and praying for the best, right? But I think in this situation, there's a spark and an energy that people believe in him. And I mean that as no disrespect to Cooper Rush, but when you have a guy that has the ability to run and throw, it reminds you of a guy that, you know, kind of makes things go in this city, and Lamar Jackson. So for Tyler, I think you need a little bit more of that because the offense hasn't been consistent. with running or throwing the ball. So having someone that has the ability to be dynamic, that has the ability to keep the defense honest when they're running zone reads and typical plays where Lamar can pull it as a runner, those are things that are going to help open up the offense, and I'm looking forward to watching him take advantage of this opportunity that he has today.
Well, the good thing is Snoop won't have to deal with any weather concerns today. We'll go back down to Garrett Downing. Garrett, it's kind of a picture-perfect October day here in Charm City. What's the weather like down there on the sidelines?
Yeah, Shelby, you nailed it. Our Maryland Realtors weather report is at its perfection down here. About 60 degrees, barely any wind, maybe the slightest level of breeze, and the temperatures are great. The sun is out. This is the kind of game that you want when you see this day on the schedule here in mid-October. Perfect fall day in Baltimore. The weather is not going to be a factor at all, and so I think this is exactly what you want here in Baltimore, so I'm excited about that.
Thanks so much, Garrett. And Tori, we've talked about it a little bit. This Ravens offense wants to get their mojo back. Todd Monken talked about that before the bye. And a big key with Pat Ricard is Derrick Henry and the impact he can make in this game. He is one rushing touchdown away from surpassing Chicago Bears legend and Hall of Famer Walter Payton for sole possession of 5th most all time. So how does he make history today and get that done?
Hey, Pat is back, okay? So I feel very confident today that Derrick Henry will pass the late, great Walter Payton, a guy that's a hero to so many people that have played this game, both on and off the field, in terms of what it means to be an athlete, a man, and a leader in the community. So I'm looking forward to watching history today. I think it will happen. The offense will move the ball. I think more points will be scored today than there has been in the last 3 weeks. And looking forward to watching a great showing. And Derrick Henry is going to have his best game of the year today.
Well, the King is also only 138 rushing yards shy of 12,000 for his career. So I know we're all hoping for a big game for King Henry. Fans, we're going to take another break, but when we come back, it's 4 straight losses for the Ravens, 4 straight wins for the Bears. So how can the Ravens turn it around today against the 4-2 Bears? We'll break it down in our keys to the game coming up next.
We the people are desperate for common ground, searching for evidence that our name, the United States, still holds true. The answer comes when we see a soldier in uniform, a first responder risking their life to protect others. On this, we agree. Those who protect our freedom and families deserve our unwavering support. We give it through Folds of Honor. When U.S. service members and first responders are disabled or killed, the Folds of Honor provides their family with life-changing scholarships. The recipients are as diverse as the country we call home. Their common bond, sacrifice. We the people have found what unites us. Join us.
Towson University does more than educate. We elevate, creating next-level opportunities for Maryland and beyond. TU is redefining the role of a public university, expanding access to life-changing experiences, raising the bar for collaboration, pushing possibilities at the forefront of teaching and research. Tigers are leading the way. Take TU's incredible momentum and make it yours.
He's just been really distant lately. Maybe he's scared of commitment or getting hurt. What do you think?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, Bridgewater, you're in.
Teddy Bridgewater, backup, listener.
If only there were backups in real life.
Go.
So we've been
But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
a different person.
You think he's scared of commitment?
Exactly.
You're not a mechanic. It's not your job to fix him.
Whether it's your first time betting or you've been gambling for years, have a plan and know the game. Be aware of the rules and odds before you gamble. Set a budget and never gamble with money you can't afford to lose. Take a break and consider teaming up with trusted friends to help you stick to your budget. Remember, if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services.
With the 112 Ravens receptions this season, Tito's Handmade Vodka has donated $11,200 to the Warrior Canine Connection to help in their mission of recovering warriors training service dogs for fellow veterans. Welcome back to Pregame Live. The Ravens are 14-3 in games immediately following the bye in the John Harbaugh era. They're hoping to make that 15-3 today, but it won't be easy because the red-hot 4-2 Chicago Bears are in town. So let's get to our keys to the game. Garrett, this Bears offense is ranked in the top half of the league in yards and points per game. Their run game has been hard to stop. So what does this Ravens defense need to do today?
Yeah, in terms of defensive keys for this game, I think it starts with Caleb Williams, the Bears' second-year quarterback, former first overall pick, so enormous talent. I think you want to take away his first read. This is a new offensive coordinator and head coach in Ben Johnson, one of the best offensive minds in this game. He's got a great scheme, so you want to take away the first thing that they want to do offensively and make life hard on Caleb Williams. Secondly, I think you want to avoid the improvised plays. When you look at him, especially when you go back to college, when he was at USC, he can keep plays alive with his legs, look downfield, and really make things happen out there. You want to limit that. You've got to get pressure on him and take away that first read, and then avoid all the crazy plays that he can make when he extends plays. And lastly, I think this defense needs to come up with at least one turnover in this game. That has not been their strong suit so far this season. I think they have to get at least one takeaway. You have an offense that's starting a backup quarterback, and so be an offense's best friend. Give them the ball back, give them the football in short yard in favorable down and distance situations. If the defense can come up with a takeaway, I think that'll go a long way in helping this team come away with a win here against Chicago.
Well, Garrett, Bears' second-year quarterback Caleb Williams has fumbled the ball 14 times since his career started in the NFL just over a year ago. So maybe we'll get lucky and see him make some of those mistakes today. And Tori, when you look at the Ravens offense, no Lamar Jackson. This is a unit that has only scored 13 points in the last 2 games. Todd Monken wants to get the mojo back. How does that start today?
You have to protect the football first and foremost. That's something that matters each and every game, but especially when your offense has been struggling with their identity. You cannot put yourselves in a hole and beat yourself. You have to let Snoop spin, all right? The great Friday Night Lights. You want to win, let Booby spin. Well, in this case, we got to let Snoop spin. Let him get active. Don't be afraid to take chances. Don't be afraid to be aggressive. Trust his legs. Allow him to be a playmaker. And feed Derrick Henry. We've been saying it for weeks, and there's been an attempt to do it. It's not that he hasn't been hungry, but it hasn't been successful. But with Patrick Ricard being back, that attempt to be able to do it is going to greatly increase your odds of being successful. I'm expecting a big day out of Derrick Henry simply because there will be an element at the quarterback position that has been missing. And it's similar to Lamar Jackson. I said similar, not the same, right? Tyler Huntley is his own player in his own right, but there's only one Lamar Jackson that has ever walked this earth, all right? That much respect for him as a player. But having that dynamic threat is going to be a game changer for this offense today.
Well, there are 2 teams that Lamar Jackson has not beaten other than the Ravens. And it's the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. But one of the teams that Tyler Huntley has beaten is the Chicago Bears. The last time that the Ravens played the Bears in 2021, Tyler stepped in for Lamar Jackson and led the Ravens to a game-winning touchdown drive. The Ravens won 16-13 in the Windy City, so we know he can do it. He has beaten the Bears. Obviously, it's a different team, but I like that.
Yeah, just don't make it close, though, right? I think a win today in dominant fashion, clean football, protecting the football would be amazing for the air that we're currently breathing in Baltimore. So looking forward to a clean game. This team is going to be excited. You can see the energy. It felt completely different walking down on the field before the game. I think this team needed that break. I think they're excited about what they have, and we're going to have the opportunity to witness a great football game here in Baltimore.
Well, you probably don't want to hear this, Tori, but in the Bears' last 3 of 4 road games, Caleb Williams has led them to a victory on a last-second touchdown drive. They've won 3 of their last 4 games on the road by 2 or less points. But it's not even going to be close today, right?
Not going to be close, but I will tell you this. Caleb Williams is a local kid. So it's extremely – I know he has a lot of family here. He's doing a lot of great things in the Bowie area where he's from. especially at the youth football level as well, and stuff that he's doing in the community. So I'm excited for his little homecoming here today. A lot of people here, but however, we need Caleb to struggle. And I know that sounds bad because I love Caleb. We got DJ Moore, a receiver on the other side. That's like my little brother there. I had the opportunity to play with him in Carolina and help as a rookie when he was coming on in. And also that's my Turk brother as well. So there's a lot of local ties here to this game. I love them both.
But
we need this Ravens defense to show up, to be aggressive, and to shut everything down.
Love it. Well, after this Week 8 home game, the Ravens hit the road for 3 straight. They're at Miami this Thursday in a few days for Thursday Night Football. Then they're in Minnesota, then in Cleveland. But then they'll be back home for Week 12 when they host the New York Jets Sunday, November 23rd. So that's when we'll be back with Pregame Live. It's another noon kickoff, so we will see you at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But first, it's Week 8. It's the Ravens and the Bears kicking off on CBS. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in about a month.